Good morning, children. Today we are starting the revision of class 11 biology. We know there are 8 chapters for the forthcoming final examination for 11th biology. Then today we are starting the revision based assignment. Okay, revision based assignment. And first chapter we have to begin with is lesson 5, morphology of flowering plants. And in this chapter I have included, in this video I have included 6 questions. Okay, these questions are important and we have to follow these questions. Okay, write short note on taproot system, fibrous root system and adventitious root system. You know taproot system. All this we have already discussed and sent the videos, chapter-wise videos early in advance. And what we do today onwards is the revision, stressing the important questions from each chapter. Okay, so you have to learn these questions thoroughly. Write short note on the taproot system. Taproot system, we all know, is a system in which the main root or taproot radicle grows into main root or taproot. Radicle of the embryo grows into main root or taproot, and that main root we call primary root as well. It produces many branches and rebranches. Okay, primary root, secondary root, tertiary roots. So the radicle of the embryo grows deep into the soil and form primary root, which produces branches called secondary roots and tertiary roots. Such a root system with a main root or taproot along with the branches are called taproot system. Then fibrous root system. In fibrous root system, the radicle does not grow deep into primary root. Instead, the radicle divides into many fiber-like roots, as we can see in the monocot. Okay, all types of monocots such as grasses, then different types of monocot plants in coconut tree, in all palm trees, all grasses, we can see that the radicle divides into many fiber-like roots called fibrous root system. Okay. Now the third one, adventitious root system. The roots formed from any part of the plant body other than radicle is called from any part of the plant body, particularly nodes. From the nodes of the stem, any part of the stem, from the nodes, the roots develop. So it is not formed from the radicle. So the roots formed from any part of the plant body other than radicle is called fibrous root system. So you go to second question. Write a brief note on root and food modifications. Root modifications, we can say many root modifications we have already seen. For example, in root modification we can say carrot, radish, beetroot. Carrot, radish and beetroot are the root modifications for storing the food. Carrot, radish and beetroot are the root modification for storage of the food. And again, in mangrove plants or rhizophora, example, rhizophora, the roots, mangroves are plants which grow in the marshy soil, so the soil does not contain oxygen. So the roots grow out of the soil. That is called, nematophores. Pneumatophores. So nematophores are aerial roots in rhizophora or mangroves. In order to get oxygen, they come out of the soil. Such roots are called, nematophores. Again, stilt root and prop roots are also root modification. Prop roots are the roots found in the pinyon tree. From the lateral branches, the prop roots grow downwards and fix the plant in the soil and provide an external or additional support. At the same time, stilt roots are seen in plants like maize, sugarcane. From the basal nodes of the stems, you can see the roots develop. Such roots which develop from the basal parts of the nodes we call stilt roots. As we can see in maize and sugarcane. Okay, that is about the food modification. Food modification, we can say there are 3-4 types of food modification. Tendrils, thorns. We can say tendrils, thorns. Tendrils, thorns. Tendrils are spirally called spring-like structure, which provide support to the plant by clinging on the supporting plant. So tendrils are spirally called spring-like structure, which provide support. Now thorns are hard and pointed structure formed from the stem buds, which act as the defense mechanism, defensive organ for the plants. Okay. Now again we can say in cactus euphorbia, we can say the stem modifies into fleshy leaf-like structure, which store the food and perform photosynthesis. All these are examples of the stem modification. Now third question, what is venation and what are the different types of arrangement of veins on the lamina of the leaf is called venation. What are the 3 types of venation? Parallel venation, reticulate venation. Okay, parallel venation and reticulate venation are the 2 types of venation. So arrangement of veins on the lamina or the leaf blade is called venation, and there are 2 types of venation: parallel venation and parallel venation or reticulate venation. And okay, so in parallel venation we can say the veins are arranged parallel to each other in monopod plants, whereas in reticulate venation we can see the veins are arranged in the network form. Example, we can say in the banyan tree, mango leaves, or Atrocarpus leaves. All these are 2 types of venation. You have to remember parallel venation and reticulate venation. Now what is phyllotaxy? Phyllotaxy is the arrangement of leaves on the bud or stem. Arrangement of leaves on the stem is called phyllotaxy. There are 3 types of phyllotaxy: alternate phyllotaxy, opposite phyllotaxy, and whorled phyllotaxy. Alternate, opposite, and whorled phyllotaxy. Clear? Now, 5th one. What is inflorescence? Mention 2 types of it. There are bunch of flowers. Bunch of flowers on a common stalk called rachis is called inflorescence. What is inflorescence? A bunch of flowers on a common stalk. That is called inflorescence. Okay? And there are 2 types of inflorescence: racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Racemose inflorescence, we can remember that the rachis grows. So what is inflorescence? Inflorescence is a group of flowers, a group of flowers or bunch of flowers arranged on a common stalk. The common stalk is called a pedicel. What is common stalk? Pedicel. We can also say peduncle. The common stalk is called a peduncle. You can see this is a peduncle, and in racemose inflorescence, the flowers are arranged on either sides of the peduncle in acropetal succession. What is acropetal succession? The older flowers are at the base and the younger flowers are at the top. So we can say in acropetal succession, the older flowers are at the base and the younger flowers are at the top. So in this arrangement, we can say what we call racemose inflorescence. The peduncle grows indefinitely, producing flowers on lateral sides in an acropetal section. Whereas in cymose inflorescence, the peduncle does not grow indefinitely. Peduncle stop the growth by producing old flower at the top, and the younger flowers are at the base. Such arrangement in which the older flower at the top of the peduncle and younger flowers. This is called the base petal succession. So what is cymose inflorescence? It's an inflorescence in which the peduncle stops growth with an old flower, and the young flowers are born at the base of this old flower. Such arrangement is called base petal succession. So we know inflorescence is a bunch of flowers on a common stalk called peduncle. In racemose, we know the peduncle grows indefinitely, whereas in cymose, peduncle stops its growth with an old flower. Now fourth one. Okay, now sixth one. Define the term thalamus, actinomorphic, zygomorphic, then hypogynous, epigynous, perigynous. Thalamus is the tip of the pedicel of a flower become thick and cup-shaped. The cup-shaped structure of a pedicel is called the thalamus. Actinomorphic flowers are that we call radial symmetry. Flower can be divided into many numbers when we cut through the central axis. As a cutting through the central axis produces many equal halves. Such symmetry is called the actinomorphic symmetry. Zygomorphic symmetry is bilateral symmetry, in which only one plane passing through the center will produce two flowers. So you have to remember this and you have to refer the previous chapter-wise videos. Then hypogynous. Hypogynous means the flower with the superior ovary and all other floral whorls arise from below the ovary. Epigynous, on the opposite, the gynoecium or pistil is inferior and all other floral whorls produce above the pistil or ovary or gynoecium. Now perigynous. Perigynous means the ovary is half inferior, half superior. Okay, means the ovary is covered by thalamus cup and the other whorls like sepals and petals are formed from the margin or rim of the ovary, so that the other whorls, all the whorls including ovary, come in the same line. So we can say perigynous, half inferior, half superior ovary. Okay, that's all in this part.